Welcome back to the 10th episode of our Ultimate F1 Career Mode series. We're following a fictional character, Christian Waters, through a Formula 1 career that will span from F1 2012 to F1 25. If you haven't seen the other episodes or know where we're up to, I highly encourage you guys to go back and watch them. If you want some background on where we're at in the story and you can't be bothered watching all of the videos, just check the description. I have a play-by-play of what's going on there, so any kind of major updates will just be put in the description. This is the standings, the drive standings as it stands at the moment. Lewis Hamilton's leading the World Championship, and where our character is in 9th place, so absolutely dominating Daniel Ricciardo at the moment. Really still waiting for Red Bull to give us the go-ahead as to what's happening next. I have a feeling that decision will be coming very soon, as we've just finished up the summer break, and now we're at Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix.
We'll make the changes you requested.
Going out onto our first laps here. I'm sorry, the cursor was showing in these initial laps, but I noticed very quickly that it was in the middle of the screen. I was like, "Oop!" I forgot whether or not I had actually turned off the cursor in OBS. I think I'm going to have to go back and do that. But as you can see, we do about 8 or 9 laps in practice. By the 8th lap, I had a good rhythm going, and I had a good understanding of the track, and was going quite strong. This circuit suits me personally, doesn't really suit the car. It's just there's too many straights, and our car is very slow in straights, but I managed to go quite quick in this final lap in practice, and my general rule is once I can pump out one fast lap, I'm usually happy to move on to the next thing, because you can spend a whole hour in practice if you want, but given that I'm doing 3 races a day, it just becomes a bit impossible to do that. But yeah, we go faster than even Fernando Alonso in the end, about 3/10 faster. So bodes well for the qualifying and for the race. Qualifying, there was predicted to have mixed conditions. It started off dry, but I wasn't sure when the rain was going to start, so I wanted to get out there as quickly as possible. I initially was going to go out on hards, but thinking that everyone else was going to go on softs and not knowing when the weather was going to change, I decided to just go straight out on the hard tires. So I completely forget the compounds in 2012. It just gets so confusing. I much prefer having just the 3 compounds these days. But I think it was hard and super hard, or hard and very hard. Yeah, I'm not sure. But this is our first timed lap in anger on the track. I'm trying to just keep it clean, because there's not much point in us going out, setting a banker lap that's a bit messy, and then have everyone beat us, and then by the time we go out, the rain hits. So I just wanted to make sure that the first lap was clean and decent, and that we wouldn't be absolutely screwed if the rain hit us early on. And as we come across the line here, I do a 1:53.7, which is fairly decent. Nothing too lightning fast, but it's fairly decent. But when I go back to the garage, everyone then just absolutely goes much faster, and the rain still hasn't come yet, so I go back out again on the same tyres, because Belgium's not really a track where how fresh the tyres are matter so much. But straight away I go out there and I'm just nowhere on the pace, and I realise towards the end of this lap that I'm completely screwed and that there's no point in me continuing. So I don't finish this lap because I was about 1.4 seconds down from Vettel and 0.6 down on that on my best lap. So there was just no point in continuing there, and I was already sitting in 16th, which wasn't good, and I was just praying and praying and praying for the water to come, and it didn't. Unfortunately, we just get knocked out at the end of Q1 here, which is annoying. I feel like I would have had the pace to get a better position in Q2 at least. But this is pretty representative for our season so far this year. We've had these huge highs and these huge lows. You know, Christian does have a characteristic of being pretty, peaky at times, and so sometimes he just doesn't hit the mark. And I guess that's the downside of being a rookie in Formula One. So we have the rain starting off again, and if you haven't seen, there was a few races so far that we've had this season where the AI have started us on, the computer started us on intermediates, and the track just hasn't been intermediate conditions. So I just hope that it's intermediate conditions, but I look at it outside the garage and it looked wet enough. So we're going to be starting the race on intermediate tyres, which bodes well for us because we tend to do better in these sort of mixed condition races. So let's see what we can come up with. As Fernando Alonso is on pole, and we are sat right behind our teammate and Romain Grosjean for the start of this race. I haven't had the best starts in previous races this year, so let's see if we can do any better here in Belgium. 5 red lights and we're off, and once again I have a diabolical start as I am bogged right down. I try to just stick to the outside here and use my superior traction to the AI, and I regain all the places virtually that I lost. Me and Ricardo both dropped down 1 place each, but going into Eau Rouge here, just dived down the inside of Ricardo. He just left the door open for me, and that was an easy overtake. And I've got Maldonado straight ahead of me, and the spray in this game is ridiculous. You just cannot see anything. So I'm just sort of guessing where to brake, and I guess well, because I dive down the inside of Maldonado and try to dance around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen, but I'm blocked out by Jensen Button here as Maldonado gets me back around the outside, and then I stick it in the inside, and he just isn't able to hold the position. So I'll take it. But now we're up to 16th, so just a quarter of the lap done now as we dive down the inside of Jensen Button. Wasn't intending on making a move there, but he was going way too slow into that corner for me to just let it slide. So yeah, just made it work. But as you can see, yeah, making good progress in the wet, which has been something of a norm in this season so far, as there's a bit of chaos there right in front of us. I'm just hoping that they don't all crash into each other and blow up my race as well. Braking hard for the first turn at the start of lap 2. Try to sneak up the inside of Grosjean here and just don't have the speed. But I line him up for Eau Rouge here, hoping that we can get some slipstream out of Eau Rouge. It's hard to keep the foot planted when the track's wet going through Radion there, because the car gets very underweighted as the whole field bunches up down the Camel Straight here, and I take Grosjean and I believe that was Hulkenberg, I want to say, I can't remember from the top of my head, and then we get another overtake done on Kobayashi there, which was really good. So now we've got Hamilton, actually it was Perez before, sorry, because I've got Kobayashi in front of me as he goes completely wide there in the wet. And now we are on the cusp of some points. It'd be really good to get some points in Belgium, especially considering this car is definitely not suited to this circuit. A high drag, low speed car that it is towards the end of lap 3, start of lap 4. We're catching the rest, and a bunch of the cars there all look like there must have been some kind of contact, because Schumacher and Hamilton have slowed right down. Sorry, Rosberg and Hamilton, I should say. The old friends from the go-karting days have made contact potentially, and I've made an absolute killing in terms of positions there. We're up to now 7th place, well above where the team was expecting us to finish. And as you can see, by the time we get to lap 5, the track is getting very dry very quickly. So I've got to think about when to pit. At the moment I'm still okay. I've got the temperatures for the inters up, and there's still wet patches on the track, but come lap 6 the track is very dry. And although at the start of this lap it was okay, the tyres, by the end of lap 6 they were just undrivable. So I decided to go with a set of option tyres for the last stint here. I have a feeling that everyone's going to go in at the same time, but cutting to the end of the lap, I could see ahead of me everyone in the pits, so that just confirms that going to the pits is the right call. So we all jump in at the same time, pretty much all of us, all to get soft tyres. Well, not soft tyres, sorry. Well, I think these are all medium tyres basically, and that's the option for this track, as it is a high wear circuit. And we're held up a little bit in the pits as we wait for the car in front of us to go into their box, but I believe we come out in the same position that we went in, which is P7, which again, we finish in P7, that's an absolute win for us in the car that we have. But I've got to be really careful, despite the fact that the track is mostly dry. We have cold tyres out the gate, and I just didn't want to be in a position where we were, spitting out or doing anything stupid. Within about a lap, the tyres were mostly warm, and I was doing some fairly quick laps, slowly trying to catch Raikkonen ahead of us in the much faster Lotus Renault. If we cut forward a little bit to the end of lap 9, you can see that Raikkonen's breaking a gap on us, and now Kobayashi is catching us. Unfortunately, the rest of this race after the weather dries up is incredibly boring. I'm not able to get anywhere near Raikkonen, unfortunately, and I've got Kobayashi breathing down my neck as we finish lap 9 and start lap 10. No one else is pitting. All the strategies all come to an end. But yeah, if we skip to the end of lap 10 now, you can see not much has changed, and this is the final lap of the race. It was quite a boring one in the end. I thought that the changeable conditions would make things a little bit more entertaining, but unfortunately, once it dried up, the race became as boring as anything. So I just wasn't fast enough to catch Raikkonen in the dry. Like, the Lotus is a much better car than the Toro Rosso, and Kobayashi just couldn't catch me either. I was a little bit faster than the Saubers in this particular race. But yeah, this is it. The final leg of the race here. Just coming through the back section here, and Raikkonen's still breaking away from us, and I've got now Alonso right on my tail, less than 4/10 in it. He's right there just hounding me in this final straight, and I know that he's in a much faster car. The Ferrari is much quicker than our car. As Michael Schumacher wins the race, it is his first victory in Formula 1 since 2006. That's fantastic. But we're able to hold off Alonso as we have an absolute tank slapper into the final corner here across the line. And that is a 7th place, and we will absolutely take that one to the bank. there's the final standings with Schumacher ahead of Webber, ahead of Massa. Amazingly, Webber was a little bit quicker than Schumacher and couldn't get him at the end there, but Lewis still leads the World Championship, and we are still sitting in ninth. We're sandwiched now between Nico Rosberg and Schumacher for the championship. So the challenge for us is going to be seeing whether or not we can beat Nico. I think realistically, on pace, the Mercedes is much faster than the Toro Rosso, but I'm outperforming the car at the moment, which is really good. I just wish Red Bull would notice us. They've been radio silent, despite the fact that we've had an offer from Sauber to come and drive for them straight away. But we're not going to go to that dead end. But once again, yeah, beating Daniel and Schumacher winning the race. Sorry it wasn't a long and exciting video, this one, but sometimes the races just aren't. But yeah, that was it for this race. We're going to Monza, which is the team's home race next, and that'll be up on Thursday. So thank you everyone for watching. If you like, subscribe. If you have any ideas for the series, please put it in the comments. And I look forward to the next video. See you guys then.